In this video, we're going to talk about Amazon EventBridge. EventBridge is a service that helps you build event-driven systems and also lets you run tasks on a schedule. The reason this is important is because modern applications often need to react instantly to changes, like when something happens in your environment, and EventBridge is the tool that makes that reaction smooth and automatic. So, what exactly do we mean when we say event-driven? If you remember from our earlier videos when we talked about loosely coupled architectures, we touched on things like queuing, notifications, and event-driven design. EventBridge is basically the service that brings that idea to life inside AWS, making sure your applications can react automatically whenever something important happens. For example, a file being uploaded, a resource starting or stopping, or even an action a user takes. Whenever these changes happen, they can generate events, and EventBridge makes sure those events get routed to the right place. Now let's break it down into the key moving parts that make EventBridge work. Let's start with the very first piece, the events themselves. Before anything else happens, there has to be an event. Think of this as the trigger point. An event is simply a signal that says something just happened. That change could come from AWS itself, like an EC2 instance starting, stopping, or failing, or from monitoring tools like CloudTrail and CloudWatch. But it doesn't stop there. Your own custom applications can also publish events to EventBridge. So it's not limited to just AWS managed things. The big idea to remember is, whenever a change occurs, big or small, it can be captured and described as an event. So that's the foundation. Once you have events flying around, you need some way to make sense of them. That's where rules come in. Rules act as organizers, the ones deciding which events are worth paying attention to and what should happen next. They evaluate the incoming stream of events against conditions you set, like filters, and only forward those ones that match. So you could say rules are the brains of the EventBridge. Turning raw signals into meaningful actions, it's basically your way of saying, if this happens, then do that. Once a rule finds a matching event, it needs somewhere to go, and that's the target. Targets are the actual destinations where events are sent. These could be AWS services like Lambda functions, which let you run code automatically, or SNS topics to notify people, or even EC2 instances to kick off tasks. The target is where the real-world response happens. So the flow is simple. Something happens, you decide what matters, and then the response is carried out. Finally, EventBridge isn't only about reacting to unexpected changes. It can also be proactive with schedule events. You can tell it to trigger something at exact intervals, whether that's every few minutes, once a day, or on a particular day each month. This is useful to repetitive tasks like generating reports, cleaning up logs, or syncing data. You can think of it like setting an automated reminder, but instead of nudging you, it nudges your applications into action on schedule. This setup makes EventBridge flexible. It listens for changes, applies your rules, takes action through targets, and can also run things on a clock when you want predictable behavior. So here's the big picture to remember. Events are the something happens signals. They capture any change, big or small. Rules are the decision makers. They filter events and decide what to do with them. Targets are the responders. They carry out the action once a rule matches. And schedules are the timers. They trigger actions on a regular or predictable timetable. Put all of that together and you get a system that's reactive, flexible, and reliable without you needing to constantly monitor things yourself. Alright, that's a wrap to our video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.